welcome to Unmute Yourself. I am so glad that you're here, and I'm your host, Jennifer Carter. And this podcast is about lifting the curtain on leadership, purpose, and the real stories behind people who dared to do things differently. We'll talk about how they found their path, the struggles they faced, and how they built something that truly matters. These are everyday people doing extraordinary things, and I want you to know that you are capable of that too. So for today's conversation, I'm thrilled to welcome Christina Humphreys. Yay!
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Now, Christina has spent 25 years in e-commerce with a sharp focus on product strategy, leadership, and management. And now she has a lot of letters behind her name that I don't even honestly know what all they mean. So, Christina, ACP, MPO,
Yes.
CSPO, PMP. I know PMP. And you're going to have to tell us about all of your certifications. And then she's also a retired equestrian, which is amazing. And so I know, Christina, that you really love living and you're an outdoor enthusiast. And I just want to really thank you so much for joining me today. So let's start at the very beginning. What first inspired you to get into your work in your field?
A means to an end, to be honest. So, and how I progressed into my career, it just kind of happened by chance. And it's just the way that technology has evolved, honestly. You know, I started doing a lot of graphic design work. And I was told, oh, there's no future in that. You know, you can't make a career out of doing, arts. It's really hard. And the print evolved into digital, and then digital evolved into doing more web design, doing online advertisement work. And it got to a point where, I was starting to design websites, and at that time, there was no delineation between a front end and a back end developer. It was you did HTML, you did CSS, you did some JavaScript. And it wasn't until you needed to connect into databases that it became like this, what they call a full stack developer. And my career naturally progressed that way. And so I did a lot of development, and I used my design background, just kind of business acumen that I learned listening. Listening to leadership talk, listening to the big brains in IT talk. And I picked up a lot of that, and I started to use it, and my practice just evolved. I got into like a web technologist type of role where I had direct reports. So I was now no longer doing a lot of development, doing a lot of design. Now it's more business management. I thought, well, you know what? I really like this, and my eyes are getting a little sore. So let me just stick with this for a while. And this was during a time when I think agile, this agile methodology that we use in software development started to come through. And these roles started to be more defined. A business analyst who used to just work with data started to evolve into something else. And then this idea of a product owner came out, product management. Now we have design, we have product design, and we have all of these really great roles for people that are out there. And it's still evolving. I'm still seeing evolution within this kind of work stream, if you want to call it that. So yeah, now I'm director of product, and I do a lot of product management. So I'm accredited. All it says
all
is
the letters.
All the letters. I'm accredited as a product owner and product manager and project management as well, because they are three very different and distinct roles, which I really love to explain to people who think it's very gray. To me, it's very black and white, but it's that way because I've lived in it so long. So yeah, I've actually just found my joy recently within the last, I would say, 5 to 6 years. Finally decided, like, I figured out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And this has been a very comfortable spot to be in.
How did you figure that out? Because a lot of people, when they're starting off, they have their foundation, right? What they started their career as. So I want our listeners who are just starting out, or maybe they're like, okay, I'm a graphic designer. I could never do this. I would never want to be a director of product. I don't even know what that does. How did you use what you learned in the beginning to help you figure out what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I don't think that my case is the same for everyone. I don't think everyone has this natural evolution to their career. It was a struggle. I mean, I think I make it sound a whole lot easier than what it really is. There were definitely times where, it was a struggle to find work. It was a struggle to find my place.
Mm.
I think it comes with acceptance. I think it comes along with finding peace and acknowledging your strengths. Because once I figured out that, you know what, the work I'm doing, there's progression to it, there's evolution to it, and it's still challenging. It will always be challenging. With the way that the market trends are, what I do and what folks that are all in product do and in tech, it's ever changing. So, you just have to keep your head up. You just have to find your niche and again, accept the things you cannot control. That's the hardest part.
I
And
can
you really
imagine.
just have to go with it and embrace it.
So embracing the unknown, which you can control, which you can't
Yes,
control, and finding what you're good at and just doubling down on it. And it sounds like,
that's right.
yeah, continuing to learn over and over and over again.
Mhm.
I wonder too, like what in your journey, what was the point that you knew that you had found your joy or what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I think I actually said it out loud for the first time about 2 weeks ago.
Wow. What
Like,
triggered that?
like a lot of introspection. It was honestly conversations you and I have had,
Hmm.
really talking out loud, talking through, what is the value that you bring? Well, what do you do? And then realizing that, you know what? This is it. I really do enjoy this. And also recently, very recently, within the last few months, I've been challenged in a way that I was also supported by my peers and by leadership to kind of really let myself blossom a bit and was given a lot of freedom to do what I knew was right.
How did you make that happen? Like, did in leadership, I always say, like, did somebody just wave a magic wand and make you queen for the day? Right. So,
It
like, how did you
felt
get
like
to that
it.
point? Really? How?
It felt like it.
What was different about how you showed up?
So it was a lot of relationship building. The role that I'm in now, in the business that I'm in now, I've been there for about 2.5 years, and I have to do a lot of relationship building. I had to prove myself. I still prove myself. I still have to do that. But honestly, all it takes is one or two people to see your spark, to
Mm.
see what you bring. And I hope that one day I can do that for someone else because um, the energy that it gives you when someone acknowledges you and says, you know what, you got this, you know what you're talking about, I want you to lead and do XYZ, really bringing you out and challenging you, but also at the same time giving you guidance and support. So if one day I can do that for someone else to give back, I think it's a gift. So magic wand, yes, indeed. And there was truly nothing else that led up to that other than having continuous conversations.
You put in the work.
Put in a lot of work.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it sounds like too communication, like over and over and over again, building your relationships,
Yep.
talking to other departments. I know. And one of the things that you and I have talked about quite a bit is how to say, what do you say? How do I say no with a yes?
How to say no with a yes.
Yes. Yes. Can you break that down for the listeners? Like
I
what?
would love to.
Okay.
Yes, I would love to. And I wish I could accredit this back to someone who taught me this because they get the credit. Often when we're given a challenge, especially while in tech and in product, it's very easy to say no. No, we can't do this. Da 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 da. And I realized that in my group, we
Mhm.
work in tech. Anything is possible. Anything. And if you even go outside of tech and you go into something else, you can't have this no mindset. You turn it around and you say, okay, well, if it's no, how do I make it a yes? So it's like, well, if I can't do exactly that, what can I do as a bit of a compromise? So when faced with, a challenge like this where I have to go back and I have to say, okay, well, no, it's instead of no, it's, well, have you thought about doing this instead? Or let me take that back, let me think about it. get some options together and say, okay, well, this is what we can do. So it's never really using a negative. It's always rephrasing it into a positive way, something that gives forward momentum. And I've tried to adopt this. I'm trying to be mindful of it when I have conversations. And, is this possible? Could we do this in the timeline? Want to say no, but you have to say, okay, well, there will be trade-offs. So let's do X, Y, and Z, right? So have that framing works not just in work, but in life as well. And you end up getting a lot farther. And it also bridges a lot of conversations. No one likes to hear no because it's you're getting shot down. Someone is getting shot down. So by, again, phrasing it in a different way, it elicits a conversation. And you learn from each other in that way too.
Yeah, you get to be, it sounds like, to your creative nature with your graphic design and your art. And I know y'all don't know this and you wouldn't know this, but Christina is also a wonderful seamstress. Who knew?
Oh,
Right? Right? I know, just so much talent. And using that creativity to think of other ways of doing things rather than just the black and the white, yes and the no.
yes, I live in the gray. I definitely live in the gray. And maybe, that's probably what I really like about what I do now is that I like to live in the gray so I can find the black and white to make it clear for people. Like when I was mentioning about how, people often get very confused. What does a product manager do? What does a project manager do? What does a BA do? And da da da. And to me, again, it's black and white. But I love to live in that gray area, hear people out on why they don't see it as such, and then explain it to them. So it is very clear. It is very black and white.
And you help people understand. It sounds like, and you're breaking it down for each person. So how has this mindset of living in the gray and turning no into a yes helped you navigate a corporate environment? Because I know corporate environment can be pretty tough. So how has that supported you, if at all?
It absolutely has. The positive responses instead of negative responses within a corporate environment, again, with anybody, anywhere, I don't know how to say it. It's acceptance. It's not acceptance. It's like, it's easier to get through things and it's easier to talk to people when you're coming forward with ideas and when you don't come forward in a negative way. It's a little more nurturing and it's a little more collaborative. And that, I don't know how that can be a bad thing, especially in corporate. I mean, I give myself a lot less stress. I'm
Yeah.
asked to come to the table more. My opinion is asked because I'm not, no, we can't do this. And I think people really appreciate that.
It's like this, when you were talking, I immediately felt that this was an unmute yourself moment where I see a lot of women going through their careers, afraid to speak up, afraid to share their opinion, afraid to ask questions, find other solutions because they don't want to be laughed out of the room or they think
No,
it's not their place. And so you highlighting this, I just really appreciate it. That's beautiful. So
of course.
want can you share with us as a woman in tech, because I know that can be a whole other ball game, right? So what advice would you give to women leaders in tech
Mhm.
who might struggle with boundaries or finding their voice?
Yeah, it is very difficult. One thing I'll give a piece of advice of what not to do first.
Okay.
So I had joined a women in IT group several years ago, and I thought, oh, this is going to be great because I'm going to meet with like-minded women who have kind of been, you speak up and you're quietly dismissed. You're talked over. Whatever you say is kind of ignored, and they say, oh, well, so and so, da da da. That kind of thing. And so I thought, okay, well, this is going to be a group of like-minded women and we're going to make progress. It ended up being a session to just sit there and bash on our male coworkers. It was not productive. There was nothing to learn there other than I don't ever want to join a group like this again. So I would say that if you have a leadership program already established, or if you want to, make sure you set the tone positively, how you can support each other, how you can listen to each other. And honestly, that's the biggest thing is had someone just listened,
Mm.
I would have felt like, okay, I'm not alone, number one. And I think at the time that would have done wonders for me instead of, well, here's the solution. It's just the listening piece. You have to charge forward. You got to think, what's the worst that can happen? All right, so you're ignored. So someone tells you no. Okay, big deal. Keep going. Keep going, because you have to get your voice out there. You have to remain strong, remain positive, and network around these people
Mm-hmm.
who are not aligned with your energy. I don't want to, not to be all
Yeah.
mystic,
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah. We get it.
you
Yeah.
know keep it going. Keep it going, because again, it's that acceptance piece. Accept that someone may disagree with you. Great, we all have opinions, that's fine. And accept that you may be dismissed. Find ways to work around it. Go talk to other people.
Christina,
Yeah.
do you remember the first time where you were told no or dismissed that you stepped up and kept going regardless?
Oh, yes.
You do?
Oh, yes.
Okay, what was
And
it?
I remember my cheeks getting hot, and I remember shaking and holding on to the bottom of the table so that no one can see my hand shake.
Yep.
Right? And it had to have been, this was mid career time. And I knew damn well I knew what I was talking about. And I can't be too specific here. But I held my ground. I held on to that table and I kept at it. And I said, no, it's this, and this. And I had to be firm. And I know I was beet red. I know I was, but I knew I can't let my hand shake. I can't let them see me nervous.
Mhm.
And I went for it. And I had to do that over and over and over again. I had to work through that hot in the face, hot in the ears,
Mhm.
hand shaking. Um, and this sounds really silly, but I had to learn breathing techniques.
Right, that doesn't sound silly at all.
Just breathe in, breathe out, get the heart rate back down. As soon as that heart rate comes back down, you trip over your words less, you get a little less nervous, and you show confidence. Man, easier said than done. This is pretty new for me to be able to do that.
And I appreciate you being able to talk about it and share that experience. I hear from folks that say, I don't want people to see me nervous and I don't speak up
Mhm.
because I'm nervous. And it's all learning. It's
Yeah.
all practice. We just keep going forward until it gets a little bit easier each and every time.
Hmm.
Now, another one of things that I hear people talk a lot about is to protect your peace and your energy and not have work take over your life.
Hmm.
Because we're seeing people out there working, 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 working. A lot of folks are back in the office, right? Oh, and even if as a remote worker, you could be, pinged all hours of the night, right? So
Hmm.
how do you get what you need as just a human being to live a life outside of work while being in a big leadership role in tech?
You have to set boundaries, and you have to be firm in those boundaries. And if that means having to say no, you frame it to say, I'm not available between these hours, but you can contact me at this time.
But Christina, we need this now. Blah, 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 blah. And then people are do you ever fear retribution, or is it just practiced over and over? You hold your boundary, hold your ground.
You have to, it's practice, hold your ground. I mean, come on. What we do, and especially in tech, we're part of the machine. It's a means to an end, okay? We're not saving lives. We're building digital products. And when you realize what you truly do and are, and you have this is going to get real dark, this when you realize your mortality, that this is it really puts it into perspective that these things don't matter, right? You
Yeah,
can wait till tomorrow.
it's going to be okay.
It's gonna be
It's
okay.
going to be
You're
okay.
gonna be. And in product, we've got releases, they're planned releases, and we have all these things. And so, sure, something could go sideways, but again, understand what you're delivering. It's a digital product. At the end of the day, people will live. It's different, absolutely, when you're in a role where lives depend on you,
Yes, very true.
when people depend on you. So, keep in mind that when I say this, it's because of the role that I'm in, right? So this isn't the same for everybody.
Yeah. I even see people in helper roles, right? Social work, nonprofit,
Yeah.
foundation work, that the mission of helping other people drives them so much they don't want to mess anything up. And at the same time, the small things, self-imposed timelines are the things that send them over the edge, right? So I appreciate you putting into perspective what is important. So how did you learn that?
Again, recently, being 45 years old and realizing one day that, is this worth it? Oh, there's the cat.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Hi, Sushi.
But this has been very recent where I have to really consider what I want out of life. And so that means I need to set up boundaries. It also means that if I get a 15-minute break, I'm going to go sit down, I'm going to read for a little bit. Or I'm going to go and I'm going to go for a little walk. It's taking those little wins that allow me to set these boundaries. And there are times when I have to work really, really late at night, because of cross time zones. I have to work really, really, really early in the morning. And it's giving myself some grace and some space. If I'm tired, okay, acknowledge it. I'm freaking tired. You know what? I need a rest. And if it means that I need to send someone an email to move a meeting by 20 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, whatever, then I have to allow myself to do that and not ask forgiveness. Don't say sorry. I'm not going to be sorry
Don't
because I'm
say
tired.
sorry.
Don't say sorry.
Right. Yes. Don't say sorry because you're tired and you're working and working and working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say sorry. Again, easier said than done. I know not everybody is in that position to be able to do that.
And I think it's helpful for you when, sorry, it was helpful when you stated that you're 45 years old and you just learned this recently.
Yeah.
Folks, they want to have it all figured out right away, and it takes time and practice. So,
I
okay.
know.
So Christina, we are going to close with a few quick fire questions.
Ooh,
Oh, I
okay.
know it's the lightning round. I just want you to answer with the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What is the one lesson you've learned that you wish everyone knew?
That this is not important.
This is the best. This is the best day
I'm
ever.
sorry, but
This is not important. Okay.
not,
Number two, if you
yeah.
could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Pay attention in school.
Yeah.
Listen to people. Listen.
Listen.
Listen. Yeah.
Listen. Listen. Okay. Number three, in one sentence, what does leadership mean to you today?
Oh my gosh. Leadership to me means that I can guide others in the way I wish I had been guided 20 years ago, giving them the opportunities that I needed 20 years ago and the opportunities that I've even been given recently. It's fostering that, that to speak up, to be heard, but also to give people an opportunity to do that. That's leadership.
Well, we've got a couple more.
Okay, I'm ready.
Number four, what's the boldest choice you've made that's paid off?
Oh, speaking up, that day when I was in that meeting and I held onto that table and I said my piece, that was the catalyst. And I started to look into other methods to hide my anxiety or my nervousness, and I've used those things. Like pro tip, if you just keep your hands together under the table, no one can see you shaking, and you still look put together. Things like that.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so if listeners only remember one thing from this conversation, what should it be?
Oh, goodness. To go outside, feel the air,
Mm-hmm.
contemplate the trees, listen to the birds, and that I hope you find what life is truly all about by doing that.
I could just listen to you talk forever. So, last lightning question.
Okay.
What's the next big dream you're chasing?
I want to retire in Scotland and ultimately find my peace there and really what I would call really truly live. That's That's my goal.
Well, Christina, this has been such a powerful conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your wisdom. And before we wrap, I do like to ask two final questions.
Of course. Yeah.
So, if listeners walk away remembering just one thing, what do you hope it is?
To go boldly, use your voice, and accept that you may not initially be heard. That doesn't mean to stop.
Beautiful, beautifully said. And now, on a more personal note, what
Sure.
has it meant for you to be able to share your story here on Unmute Yourself today?
It's a wonderful opportunity, and I think all of us at some point wish we had a hot mic that we could talk into to be heard, even that's it, just to be heard.
Well, it was wonderful to listen to what you had to say. Like, I could just sit here, like I just said, listen to you for hours. You're brilliant and very, very wise.
Oh.
How can listeners connect with you or follow you or support you or maybe
Well,
be seeing
one
any
of
more of you?
so another way that I find my peace is I'm not on any social media
Oh,
at
I love this for you.
So LinkedIn is it, and you can find me Christina Humphreys, and love to connect, hear stories, and connect with other folks that are in product and seeing the evolution of our careers within product because it's an interesting time right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And even
Yeah,
folks that are even curious about what it looks like. You started out in graphic design and here you are. So
yeah,
yeah, I love that. So,
absolutely.
yeah. So, Christina, thank you again for joining me. And thank you for everyone listening, for showing up, for reflecting, for listening. I'm going to say it again and again and again, as Christina has taught us, for unmuting yourself in your own way. And so,
Thank you.
thank you. And if today's conversation has inspired you, please share this episode, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of leaders creating work that truly fits and matters. And until next time, unmute yourself and step into the story only you can tell. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.